And again, for this week's edition of the Travel Lunch Club, we'll be starting with our Indonesian trivia from last week. So I see we have 8 hands up currently. Thank you all so much for raising your hands. Again, if you would like to answer one of Lou's questions that he has, please raise your hand in Zoom by hitting more at the top right, and then you tap raise hand. So I want everyone now to please lower their hands by hitting lower at the bottom. And make sure to lower your hand. You want to keep it out, for eternity, right? So make sure to hit lower at the bottom to lower your hand. Okay, so thank you all so much for participating and for going over the rules with us. And now the floor is yours for Indonesian trivia, Lou.
Great. Thank you, everybody. Hopefully you can all see this and you can hear me well.
Mhm.
The picture I have up here, I've actually been to this place. It's on Bali, and it's a Hindu religious location. As I was sharing with you earlier about Bali, it's so overrun with tourists, especially from Australia, that like the religious character of this place was really lost. It sort of felt like a tourist attraction, even though it was very, very beautiful. So Indonesia is great, but Bali is overrun with tourists. Also, a little bit about the religion. Indonesia, I think, is about 90+% Muslim, and making it the largest Muslim population in the world. And so the Hindu population mainly lives on Bali, which is what you're seeing now. Okay, here we go. Let's fire it up. Name the 4 most populated countries in order. Any
If you would like
hands
to
yet?
answer
No
Lou's
hands?
question, if you would like to answer Lou's question, don't forget to raise your hand in Zoom with the answer.
Ooh, I think we got him stumped. Up. Someone's up. Brenda's got her hand up. Uh,
Okay,
Alexandra, go ahead.
we ready? Okay. China, India, uh, European Union, and the United States. No?
Oh, so
No.
that might be true with the European Union, but I'm not counting them as a single country. So try again. Brenda, I'll give you another shot since that was not totally,
Okay.
incorrect.
China, India, United States, the nation of Indonesia, and
Yay, you got
Japan.
it. All right, Brenda. So you don't have a choice today because we ran out of necklaces and bracelets. So I'm giving out rings, Masai rings. And because you're female, I'm thinking your hands will be a little smaller than the men. So I'll give you a smaller size Masai ring.
Okay. Okay. That works. Thank
Thank,
you.
Uh,
thank you,
thanks.
Lou. Thank you.
And by the way, after today's session, I'm going to be out of Masai everything. So, we're going to come up with something else for next week.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
next
you, Brenda, so
question.
much.
Thank you.
Oh, there's the answers. By the way, India, I think, is expected to overtake China.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, next. Who was the first European to visit Indonesia?
And if you would like to answer Lou's question, make sure you hit rate more and then raise hand. And then we'll be able to call on you.
Ron Thompson, you're in.
Okay. Ron, what's the answer?
Ron, you might be muted. We can't hear you.
There.
The Portuguese.
No, that's not what I'm looking for, Ron. I'm looking for an actual person.
Oh,
Yes.
So not a nation, but a person. Who was the first European person to visit Indonesia?
Thank you, Ronald, though, for raising your hand.
Good guess, though, Ron.
Um, Cassandra, gotta hit unmute in the middle, y'all. And Cassandra, do you have the answer? You gotta hit,
Not here.
you gotta hit unmute. the
Oh,
middle.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was hitting the wrong thing. I was hitting up the top unmute. I didn't see the word
Okay,
that
what is your answer?
the answer is J Java man or Pity Catopus.
Oh, that's a good guess. They found some of the very earliest human species, Homo sapiens, in Indonesia. And so you're naming the very first Homo sapiens that were ever found on the whole world. Now, the oldest are in Africa, but these are way up there. But that's not it. That's not the answer I'm looking for. Good guess, though.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you, Cassandra.
By
Brenda,
the way, I think Java Man was 1.7 million years ago. Was when Java Man lived.
Okay, my guess is Marco Polo.
Oh, bing, 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 bing.
oh, I know that's right, Brenda. Oh, wow, good job, good job. Yep, that was that's the right answer.
Okay.
Marco was really an early explorer. He was before the Portuguese, before the Spanish, pretty much before almost everybody from the European standpoint. I think he was around 1200 and something.
Okay.
Mm.
I'll give my gift to my girlfriend Diane.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much, Brenda. I see that she's on. So yes, Miss Diane Leach, you'll be receiving a Messiah ring. Thank you so much for coming on, and thank you so much for your kindness, Brenda.
Sure.
All right. And then the last question. What two countries have the greatest biodiversity in the entire world?
Hmm. These are some great questions, Lou. Again, if you'd like to answer, please hit more and then raise hand.
It looks like Harold's raised his hand, followed by Ann. So Harold, what's the answer?
Let's try 500 for, Russia and Indonesia.
Oh, good guesses, but no, not quite right.
All
Not
right.
quite right. Good guesses though.
Thanks so much. Anne, what are your answers?
I was gonna say Indonesia, and I was thinking America got a lot of biodiversity.
Oh, no, good guess. Another good guess, but not quite right.
Okay.
Thank you, Anne. Mr. Ronald?
Brazil and South Africa.
Oh, not quite right. Not quite right. But between the two of you, you're getting awful close.
Yes, thank you so much, Ronald. Yep, and don't forget to lower your hand. Cassandra? What
It's
are
Brazil. It's Brazil and Indonesia.
Bing, 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 bing,
Oh,
bing, 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 bing.
good job, Cassandra.
Thank you.
Oh, and thank you. You won a ring also again with Miss Diane and Miss Brenda for our Indonesian trivia. So congratulations to all the winners. And thank you, Lou, for these great questions.
Sure. It's interesting thinking about this question because they say that you can track where things began, not by the uniformity of that location, but by the diversity of that location. For example, you can, if you want to know where language began, you don't look in Germany or England because almost everybody speaks the same language. But you look in countries in Africa, I think Kenya speaks 97 languages. And so where things began, whatever the thing is, there tends to be a lot of diversity in it, a lot of variation. And that made me think of this question, that where life begins, there's a lot of variation. So, Brazil and Indonesia, you can sort of imagine it, these two tropical countries with a lot of water, a lot of heat. You can almost imagine the life just bubbling up in these locations. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they have so much diversity of life. And I'm sure life is continuing to, new life forms are continuing to merge from these two hot spots. All right, enough of that. Let's get this show on the road. So I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. And we will begin where we always do. And that is just a moment. That is at the DACL office. So let's go over to Union Station. Let's take the red line to the silver line, and let's go to Dulles Airport, because pretty much all planes that go to the Philippines will leave out of Dulles. Okay, so now which direction are we going to fly? Any guesses? Okay, I'm just going to tell you because we got to move along. So we're going to head west again. It's sort of like the same trip that we would take if we went to Japan. So Japan Airlines serves this, Korean Airlines serves this. You know, these pilots, they don't like flying over the open ocean for a long time, because if it develops engine trouble, you know, that's some serious trouble if you're over the ocean. So it usually goes over Alaska, Aleutian Peninsula, and some nice views if it's not cloudy, trickling off these islands. They got some landing strips on these islands in case the planes have trouble. And then you go down here, then you go down to Japan. And I'm not sure if you could fly direct to the Philippines nowadays. You may be able to with some of these long hauls, but a lot of times you'll stop in Japan, take off again, and here you go into the Philippines. There we are. Now, the Philippines has frequently been called the most beautiful place on earth because of these gorgeous, gorgeous tropical islands. The population centers are mainly up in Manila, up here, and there's some other cities down there. So let's learn a little bit about the history of the Philippines. So I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment, and we're going to jump over to the history of the Philippines. So just a moment. Here we go.
The history of what is today the Philippines started with the arrival of its first humans. It is believed they used rafts or boats around 60,000 years ago, with groups of diverse people settling in the archipelago. Some of these groups started to develop and expand into bigger settlements, and in the next thousands of years, they evolved into what some scholars believe to be considered early states. Austronesians and afterwards speakers of the Malayo-Polynesian languages began to arrive in successive waves beginning about 4000 BC. According to the existing evidence, a jade culture existed on these lands, starting with the Neolithic era. By 1000 BC, it is believed that the inhabitants of the archipelago had developed into 4 distinct kinds of people: tribal groups, warrior societies, the petty plutocracy, and the harbor civilizations. Also important to note is the fact that the metallurgy reached the archipelago due to trade with India. Around 300 to 700 AD, the seafaring people of the islands began to trade with the Indianized kingdoms in the Malay archipelago and the nearby East Asian principalities, adopting influences from both Buddhism and Hinduism. Some cultures of present-day Vietnam showed evidence of an extensive trade network. Artifacts and goods were traded, such as glass, agate, or gold. There were also other items present in the region which were most likely imported, including ear ornaments that have been found in archaeological sites in the Philippines, Thailand, and Taiwan. The Indian culture influenced the Southeast Asian region starting with the 1st century. During the period of the South Indian Pallava dynasty and the North Indian Gupta Empire, Indian culture spread to Southeast Asia, and it reached the Philippines, which led to the establishment of new kingdoms largely influenced by the Indian culture and traditions. The date inscribed in the oldest Philippine document found so far, the Laguna copperplate inscription, is 900 AD. From the details of the document, written in Kawi script, the bearer of a debt, Namwaran, along with his children, is cleared of a debt by the ruler of Tondo. This is the earliest document that shows the use of mathematics in pre-colonial Philippine societies. A standard system of weights and measures is also demonstrated by the use of precise measurement for gold and other items, as well as in astronomy. From the various Sanskrit terms and titles seen in the document, the culture and society of the Manila Bay were that of Hindu Old Malay amalgamation, similar to the cultures of Java, Peninsular Malaysia, and Sumatra at the time. In the years leading up to 1000, there were already several maritime societies existing in the islands, but there was no unifying political state encompassing the entire Philippine archipelago. Instead, the region was divided into numerous semi-autonomous city-states under the rule of the plutocracy, while a number of states existed alongside the highland societies. These smaller structures alternated between being part of or being influenced by larger Asian empires like Maya Pahit. Around 1225, the nation of Mai, a Buddhist pre-Hispanic Philippine island state centered in Mindoro, flourished, attracting traders and shipping from the kingdom of Ryukyu to the Empire of Japan. Chao Jakua, a customs inspector in Fujian province, China, wrote the description of the barbarous peoples, describing trade with this pre-colonial state. Its people were noted for their honesty in trade. Much of what is now Indonesia was ruled by the Hindu Maya Pahit Empire. During the 1300s, this empire ruled over Luzon Island and the Sulu archipelago. As more and more influence was on these islands, skirmishes and battles also existed. Some local tribes were waging incessant guerrilla warfare against them. Eventually, the kingdoms of Luzon regained independence from Maya Pahit after the Battle of Manila, 1365. Sulu also re-established independence, and in vengeance, assaulted the Maya Pahit province of Brunei before a fleet from the capital drove them out. The start of the Islamic era in Indonesia set the collapse of the Maya Pahites as its provinces eventually seceded and became independent sultanates. In 1380, Makdum Karim, an Arab trader born in Johor, arrived in Sulu from Malacca and brought Islam to the Philippines. Additionally, Sharif-ul-Hashim, an Arab Muslim explorer, established the Sultanate of Sulu by converting its previous ruler, the Hindu king Raja Baguinda, to Islam and then marrying his daughter. The Sultanate of Maguindanao rose to prominence at the end of the 15th century. Meanwhile, the religion was introduced to the area by Muslim missionaries and traders from the Middle East, Indian, and Malay regions who propagated Islam to Sulu and Maguindanao. As before, when Buddhist and Hindu cultures influenced the archipelago, the same case happened with the Muslim culture. Upon the secession of Brunei from the Maya Pahit Empire, they imported the Arab emir from Mecca, Sharif Ali, and became an independent sultanate. The new religion started to grow roots in the Philippines through conquest and conversion of local leaders in the next decades. Moreover, Islam was further strengthened by the arrival to the Philippines of traders and proselytizers from Malaysia and Indonesia. In 1521, the Spanish reached the archipelago through the expedition around the world led by Portuguese-born Spanish explorer Ferdinand Magellan. Claiming the islands he saw for the Spanish Empire, he established friendly relations with some of the local leaders and converted some of them to Roman Catholicism. Because the Philippines are a large archipelago, the Spaniards started to explore many islands. However, the explorer Ferdinand Magellan was killed during the Battle of Mactan against the local ruler Lapu-Lapu. Over the next several decades, other Spanish expeditions were dispatched to the islands. In 1543, an expedition was led to the islands, naming them Philippines, in honor of Philip of Austria, who became Philip II of Spain on January 16, 1556. The name was then extended to the entire archipelago later on in the Spanish era. European colonization began in earnest when Spanish explorer Miguel López de Legazpi arrived from Mexico in 1565 and formed the first European settlements in Cebu. Through diplomatic and military annexation of some lands, incorporating local states including the Kingdom of Tondo, the Spaniards established Manila as the capital of the Spanish East Indies. In 1578, the Castilian War erupted between the Christian Spaniards and Muslim Bruneians over control of the Philippine archipelago. The Christian troops were so diverse due to generally being made up of people under the Spanish rule, including Native Americans, namely Aztecs, Mayans, and Incans, who were gathered and sent from Mexico and South America to be led by Spanish officers that had worked together with native Filipinos in military campaigns across Southeast Asia. The Muslim side was also very diverse though. They were supported by the Ottoman Empire, with their troops consisting of Malay warriors and expeditionary forces sent by the Ottomans, which included mainly Turks, Egyptians, Swahilis, Somalis, Indians, and others. The conflict ended with a status quo antebellum. Just 20 years after the conquest of Luzon, remarkable progress existed in the work of colonization of the islands and the spread of Christianity. A cathedral was built in the city of Manila with an episcopal palace. Other monasteries and churches were built across islands, and more people started to convert to Christianity. Furthermore, Spanish and Mexican families settled in the new lands, creating stronger communities. Much of the archipelago came under Spanish rule, creating the first unified political structure known as the Philippines. Spanish colonial rule saw the introduction of Christianity, the code of law, and the oldest modern university in Asia. The Philippines was ruled by the Mexico-based Viceroyalty of New Spain, and after, the colony was directly governed by Spain. Many of the local people revolted in the next centuries due to some abuses made by the Spanish authorities. Their rule ended after the American-Spanish War at the end of the 19th century in 1898. The Philippines became a territory of the United States. The United States then established the insular government to rule the Philippines. In 1907, the elected assembly was set up with popular elections. The U.S. promised independence in the Jones Act to the country, and the Philippine Commonwealth was established in 1935 as a 10-year interim step period to full independence. But before gaining total freedom, in 1942, during World War II, the Philippines was occupied by Japanese forces. By 1945, the U.S. liberated the Philippines, and the Treaty of Manila in 1946 established an independent Philippine Republic. The period of their independence was marked by internal skirmishes and a smaller period of dictatorship, but also huge progress and development, with Manuel Roxas becoming the first president of the Independent Republic of the Philippines. The United States seceded its sovereignty over the Philippines on July 4, 1946, as scheduled. However, the Philippine economy remained highly dependent on United States markets. Roxas died suddenly of a heart attack in April 1948, and the Vice President Elpidio Quirino ruled the country until 1953. Some communist partisans existed in the islands, but were defeated in the 50s. Additionally, an important event happened in the middle of the 1960s. Ferdinand Marcos took power in 1965 and ruled until 1986. This era included the final years of the Third Republic from 1965 to 1972, and the Philippines under martial law 1972 to 1981. His reign was marked by dictatorship and instability. In 1986, Ferdinand Marcos was removed from power and replaced by Maria Corazon Aquino. Up to the present day, 5 other presidents ruled the Philippines.
Wow, that was pretty fascinating. Any reflections from anybody? This is a history that I think none of us ever knew.
I didn't know it, but I remember talking about Imelda Marcos, all them shoes she had.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
2,000.
Yeah, all of us we all remember that, I bet. Remember she had all the
Yeah.
shoes, all the different shoes?
2,000 pair or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
And I guess they didn't treat the people very well while they lived like gods.
The U.S. didn't either, though, when they occupied it. They occupied it twice.
Oh, what was that again?
The U.S. was pretty harsh there, too. They occupied the Philippines twice.
Yeah.
They had 5 presidents. They went through presidents. It's like running water.
Yeah. Do you all remember our friends back in the early 80s and 70s who were in the military? A lot of them were stationed at a big naval base in the Philippines. You all remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, indeed.
What was the name of that base? I was trying to remember.
Was Bataan in the Philippine Islands, Lou?
I saw that one of the islands was named Bataan. Was that the
Yeah,
name of the base?
I'm not sure, but I just remember General MacArthur talking about "I shall return."
Didn't MacArthur die in the Philippines? I think I read.
No, Eisenhower summoned him back to the States.
Yeah.
He died in the Waldorf.
And replaced him, and he in the immortal words of MacArthur, he said, "I shall return."
But he did not.
Harry Truman saw that he did not.
Yeah, that was Truman. You're right. I'm sorry. I thought it was Eisenhower. You're right. You're right, Tom. It was Truman.
Put that belt on him.
And right. And there's a museum in Manila where they have displayed all of Amelia Marco's shoes.
Oh, really? Oh.
And the other thing that I remember about the Philippines is that many of our hospital staff in this country are young ladies and men who came over here to help us when we were having trouble with medical personnel.
Interesting.
The Philippines.
Yeah, didn't know that. All right, well, time to just get things going. They said one thing that I had never heard. Oh, sorry about that. They said one thing I never heard, and that was, do you remember they said that the Spanish brought Native Americans, Aztecs, to help them fight the war? I'd never heard that before. Like I never heard of the Native Americans siding with the Europeans after the French-Canadian War. Anyway, all right, let's cue up the next video. So let's see the 10 best places to visit in the Philippines. My volume looks a little low.
The Philippines is an island nation located in the Western Pacific.
Good to go,
The
Lou.
region boasts one of the world's longest combined coastlines due to the nation's 7,000 tropical islands. From pristine beaches and marvelous natural wonders to interesting historic sites and beautiful coral reefs, the Philippines pack many exciting things to see and do. Here is a look at some of the best places to visit in the Philippines. Number 10. Vigan. A visit to this town in northern Luzon is like a step back to colonial times. Horses pull carts along cobblestone streets, and dark wood mansions flank the sides, as a reminder of the grand life that many enjoyed in this colonial Spanish trading post. At the time, many goods, like beeswax and gold, were traded to China for exotic Asian items. Today, the main income for this port is tourism, though the splendor from its trading history remains. Vigan has two hearts, a shopping center in the north and a business district in the south. Number 9. Bohol. The huge orange eyes and tiny fingers of the minuscule tarsier serve as the spokesmodel for the island of Bohol. Just a short trip from Cebu, this area is one of the few remaining homes for this tiny primate. The unique geologic oddity of the Chocolate Hills serves as the second draw for travelers to the region. The unique mogul-like hills come with a legend of being formed by the rocks thrown by an angry giant. Many visitors to the island are, however, here to partake in the breathtaking dive opportunities that the region has to offer. Number 8. Manila. One of the most densely populated cities in the world, the Philippines' chaotic capital can be a bit hard to fall in love with at first sight. It is well worth persevering, however, as its towering skyscrapers and traffic-filled streets hide away lots of wonderful and unique places. Founded by the Spanish back in 1571, the city is set on the shores of Manila Bay, with Pasig River running through it. Old and new seamlessly mix together in Manila, as modern shopping malls lie alongside colonial-era churches and cathedrals. Full of trendy bars and artisan markets with some great nightlife, the Pearl of the Orient is certainly one of Asia's greatest mega-cities. Number 7. Donsol. Once a sleepy, laid-back fishing village, the coastal town of Donsol now hums with life as scuba divers and snorkelers come to swim with the infamous whale sharks that are found just offshore. Growing up to 12 meters long, the gentle giants are majestic to see up close, and swimming with them really is an unforgettable experience. While there is not all that much to see or do in town, Donsol is a pleasant enough place to spend a couple of days, and the surrounding area has loads of great hikes and cycle rides. Number 6. Tagaytay. Overlooking the glorious Taal Lake, Tagaytay is one of the most popular towns to visit in the Philippines, with both tourists and locals alike. Its cool mountain climate offers visitors some welcome respite from the hustle and bustle, heat and humidity of nearby Manila. As it is bordered by lots of hills and mountains, there is loads of magnificent scenery to enjoy, with Taal Volcano being the undoubted highlight. Tourist attractions in town include the Punta Santiago Lighthouse, St. Anne Shrine, and the large local flower farm. Number 5. Cebu. Cebu is an island province consisting of the main island itself and 167 surrounding islands. Its capital, Cebu City, is the oldest in the Philippines and home to the nation's second international airport. The city is a smaller but similarly busy version of Manila, with many of the same urban benefits. One advantage that Cebu has is Matcan Island, featuring a premier dive site that is a short drive from an international airport. Another diving gem, the island and resorts of Malapascua, is about a 4-hour drive to the port town of Maya, and then must be accessed by boat. Number 4. Siargao. Shaped like a teardrop, Siargao, with its lush coconut groves, tranquil lagoons, and white sand beaches, is the very definition of paradise. This relatively undeveloped island is home to just a couple 100,000 residents. Without its own airport, it's tricky to get to, which makes it that much more rewarding when you finally sink your toes into its remote sands. Siargao is famed as the surfing capital of the Philippines, with 15 known surfing spots, including the celebrated Cloud 9. Surf schools and rental shops abound, and there are also opportunities for stand-up paddleboarding, snorkeling, and much more. Number 3. Ifugao Rice Terraces. Photographers will want to have lots of memory cards with them when they visit the picturesque Ifugao Rice Terraces on the island of Luzon. For 2,000 years, people have been growing rice on terraces that follow the contours of the Cordilleras Mountains. The most famous ones can be found around the town of Banoe. They were created by the Ifugao ethnic people without modern tools and are still used today. Number 2. Boracay. Boracay is one of the most popular islands in the Philippines, so much so that it had to be closed for 6 months to rehabilitate the island after its huge influx of visitors. Today it is reopened to tourists, but has a limit on the number of visitors it welcomes each day. The main allure of Boracay Island is its idyllic white beach, but there are hordes of other tiny beaches and coves where you can enjoy everything from snorkeling and scuba diving to kite surfing. Number 1. Palawan. Palawan is an island province in the Philippines that stretches from Mindoro to Borneo between the South China and Sulu Seas. Puerto Princesa, which is close to the large karst formations with an underground river, is the provincial capital. Coron Reefs is one of the best diving spots in the world, drawing divers who want to explore Japanese shipwrecks from World War II. Another popular destination is El Nido, a town sandwiched between towering limestone karst cliffs and a beautiful bay.
We
Hey,
stuck.
I think something may be going on with Lou's connection.
Oh,
Yep. So thank you for your patience, everyone.
Alex, Alex,
Hello?
Hey Lou, you went out, so you're back on again. You have to unmute, Lou.
Wow, how long did I go out for?
No, just a second. The video stopped, so it kicked you out of Zoom for whatever reason. So you can,
Wild.
yeah, you can start sharing your screen and keep playing.
Well, I guess that was good timing because that was at the very end. Any
Okay.
comments on what you all saw, folks?
yeah, swimming with those whale sharks. That would be scary, seeing that big fish and you're in the water with them.
Yeah, that was. You see, it's like there's one whale shark next to every boat. It's almost like they're
Yes, like they were friendly.
Yeah.
Friendly whale shark. And then you know the rice terraces. I thought rice had to be grown on level land. That I've never heard of that, rice terraces.
Yeah, that was so beautiful though, wasn't it?
It is. It looked like a painting.
And to
It's
think
level,
it's
but it's
2,000
graduated.
years old.
It's level, Brenda, but it's graduated.
Oh, okay.
Like stairs, like stairs.
Right, like stairs. Okay. but it was
All the
beautiful.
hurricanes that they get over there, they must put a lot of maintenance into those things. Because the hurricane would probably just put those suckers through a flood.
Yeah. Hmm.
All right, well, we got 12 minutes left. I wanted to quickly jump in, if we could, to last week, a couple of weeks ago when we did India, we talked about BPOs. The biggest business process outsourcing place in the world is now the Philippines. And that's because they teach the Filipinos English as their primary language. That's the first language they learn. So they speak darn good English. So probably more often than not, when you get someone out of the country who answers support calls, probably more than not, they're in the Philippines in Manila. Now, I don't have a video to play on the BPOs in the Philippines, partly because we already saw that. But I did want to jump into some issues about like do's and don'ts about the Philippines. I'm going to play that. Can you all see this?
About the beauty of the country as
Oh,
well as
you need to share your screen, Lou.
Okay, hold
there
on.
are many stereotypes, misconceptions, and straight up lies that have been put on.
Hold on, I'm working on it.
On the country and its people. Welcome back to FTD Facts. My name is Leroy Kenton, and for this episode,
Okay, I'm going to have to cue it up again. Let me share my screen. Just a moment. Sorry about the technical challenges here.
The Philippines is a country that we.
Okay, almost there. I'll just do this for about 5 minutes, then we'll jump to the trivia.
There you go.
Talk about here in FTD Facts. So much can be said about the beauty of the country as well as the beauty of the people. Yet even still, there are many stereotypes, misconceptions, and straight up lies that have been put on as labels on the country and its people. Welcome back to FTD Facts. My name is Leroy Kenton, and for this episode, I'm going to be looking at 10 of the biggest lies, stereotypes, and misconceptions about the Philippines. Okay, so let's get into this list. At number 10, Filipino women are submissive and quiet. Like every other country, though, women come in a variety of attitudes. Some a little bit more attitude prone than others. But either way, Filipinas are just a conservative type of woman. According to sources, Filipino women, they find it uncomfortable to mingle or even interact with male foreigners and even their own men. They also have a reputation of being quiet and shy, but this is normally because they feel that they don't have the adequate skill of speaking English to the foreigners. So instead of speaking nonsense, they remain silent. The next lie is that the Philippines is one land mass. This is something that I've been guilty of thinking myself. But there's actually over 7,000 islands that make up the Philippines, a full land area of 300,000 square kilometers, which works out to be 115,831 square miles. This makes it the world's largest island country. The Philippine archipelago is divided into 3 island groups, Luzon, Visayas, as well as Mindanao. The English. So when tourists visit the country of the Philippines, they're usually surprised at the fact that Filipinos, they actually learn English as their first language. Most Filipinos also learn it alongside Tagalog growing up. Although some Filipinos will have a distinct accent while speaking English, English-speaking tourists will have little or no trouble at all communicating with them in the entire country. Number 6, all Filipinos share the exact same culture. So being an archipelago, like I mentioned earlier, historically, there was no actual Philippines to refer to. The different groups of islands being separated by large bodies of water, they contain their own distinct culture after this. All right, continuing with the lies. In lie number 5, we have Filipinos are nannies and call center agents. That's all they're good for. Okay, so Filipinos may just be very good at delivering these types of services, and because of that, there's a high demand for their skills in other countries. However, not everyone shares the same dream job interest. There's actually millions and millions of Filipinos living and working overseas with completely different professions, like doctors and nurses and singers. Yeah, Filipinos sing really good. That's another stereotype. but I think there's like some facts to that. Cities, but it is not necessarily where all the main action happens. Number 3, have you heard this one before? Dog meat is regularly eaten and served. Okay, all right, so no, they don't sell dog meat in Filipino supermarkets and grocery stores. Eating dogs in Philippines it's a very taboo topic, and there actually are a few small groups. Mostly of them are in the northern region of the country, in the mountain province. We're actually, think about it, just because someone dates somebody from a foreign country doesn't mean that that person is rich either. So yeah, something to think about there. And now moving on to our biggest lie in this episode, Philippines. It's a very dangerous country. Now, we've all seen the news reports. Many foreigners, they hear about Philippines' war on drugs, among other struggles that they have in the country. And this has led foreigners to think that the Philippines is a place of criminals and kidnappers everywhere. Now, there are, of course, several unfortunate issues in the country, but overall, away from the hotspots of criminal activity, there are many beautiful places and safe places that you'll see in the Philippines. Not just the resorts designed for tourists, but many local places as well, completely safe. All right, guys, so this concludes this episode. Slides about the Philippines. Hope this helped clear up some misconceptions.
All right. Any thoughts about that?
Lou, I didn't know they ate dog meat. I never heard.
They didn't say they ate dog meat.
Well, I think he was trying to
A
dispel
certain
that.
tribe.
Yeah, he was trying to dispel that rumor.
Oh,
Right.
okay. All right, okay. I got
All
it.
right, folks, it's that time again. Here we go. Get twice in one episode here. Let me cue it up in the background. Just take a second. I want you to see the answers here.
And for our folks that just hopped on, again, we like to make sure everyone has the opportunity to share their answers to the trivia. So we will call on you if you raise your hand, if you have the answer, and you have a couple of seconds to, of course, answer. So you raise your hand by hitting more at the top right, and then you hit raise hand. So while Lou queues up the questions, I want everyone in Zoom to please raise their hand. And that's how we call on you. That's how we see the order of those that raise their hands. And if you would like to answer the questions to potentially win a prize, then please raise your hand. So we have 4 hands up. Thank you so much. We have almost 40 folks on. So again, thank you all for participating today. But yes, if you would like to answer one of the questions or respond, you need to raise your hand by hitting more at the top right and then raise hand. So with that, Lou, let's go on to our second round of trivia today, and don't forget to lower our hands.
Here we go. First question. What is the oldest existing university in Asia? It was actually mentioned in one of the videos, if you all might recall. I needed the name of that university. Fire that Google up.
Hey, Brenda.
Okay. The University of Santo Tomas.
Let's see if that's it. Here we go. Yes, great job.
Good job, Brenda. Wow,
Founded
you so fast.
1611.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Do you have men's rings?
Oh yeah, it's just a bigger size is all, bigger finger size.
Okay. I'll give this to Ronald Thompson.
All right, Ron, congratulations.
Oh, well, thank you, Ronald. You can say thank you.
Oh, that's so cute. Thank you, Cardozo.
You're welcome, Baloo.
Thank you so much, Brenda, for your kindness, and thank you for coming
Sure.
on.
I'm still sick of Brenda, though.
Thank you all so much.
All right, here comes number 2 question. The world's largest pearl was discovered by a Filipino diver in the Palan Sea in 1934. How much did it weigh? Now, I had some conflicting things on this. And Brenda, we might want to spread the wealth of answers on this. That's Alex's call, because you got the stuff down pat, it looks. But that's Alex's call.
Yeah, any of the hands, let's all try to see if we can find this answer. It's real interesting.
I might not have, I have, the country is the Philippines, but I might not have the right weights. So there's two weights I have in mind. Both of them will be right.
And if you would like to answer, Lou, please raise your hand in Zoom, be it more, and then raise hands.
Well, we got folks
Okay.
now. I think
See,
Cassandra was first, I think.
yeah. Cassandra, what is your answer?
I want to say 14 pounds and 1 ounce.
So you're right, but there's two answers to this, 14 pounds, and then I heard another one said 75 pounds. But that right there is a picture of it.
Oh my gosh.
Dang.
It was found inside a giant
Oh yeah,
clam.
I
You know
see the
those big giant
75
clams?
pounds. Yeah,
Yeah.
so the pearl reported weighs about 75 pounds and was discovered by a fisherman 10 years ago.
Oh, so the right answer is 75 pounds?
Well, no,
Yes.
that's 10 years ago. Are you talking about 1934 or 10 years ago?
Well, so I found different answers for this question. I think both are right. One of them was 1934 and 14 pounds, and then another one said 75 pounds. So I figured both answers would be right.
Well, thank you so much for providing that, Cassandra. Would you like a ring or?
I want a men's ring for my buddy Ronald Mickens for helping me with my first class this week.
Well, I appreciate that, Ms. Cassandra, but he's not on. Can you look at the participants list and see who is on and who you'd like to provide that to?
Okay. Is Denise Jackson on here?
If you look at participants, you can see who's on. But yes, Denise is on right now, but make sure you check out that participants list, okay?
I see her name.
Okay, well, yep, Denise, well, congratulations. You want to say thank you?
Yeah, thank you so much, Cassandra. Bless
You're
your
welcome.
heart.
All right.
I
All
appreciate
right,
it.
and then last question, here we go. How many islands make up the Philippines? This is a Google question for sure.
Again, we'll try to go with someone who hasn't answered yet. Oh, wow, Louise, that was fast. What is your answer? You got to hit unmute in the middle. Okay, Louise, again, you got to hit unmute in the middle, okay? So that way you can unmute yourself. Again, Louise, you got to hit unmute in the middle so that way you can unmute yourself, please. Okay, not sure what's going on, Louise, but thank you so much for, participating, raising your hand. Ms. Clement, can you unmute? What is your answer?
Yeah, 7,000.
7,000? That could be right. Let's get another, hold on to that answer. I forgot what the answer is myself. Let's get another guess on there, Alex.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Clement. Ms. Tylene, what is your answer?
7,641.
Okay, we have 7,000, 7,641. Let's get one more.
Okay.
One more answer.
Ms. Wilmatine?
Okay, 7,107 islands.
Okay, so I think that there's some differing facts on this. Here we go. Here's what I found. Here's what the research said. 7,641. Who said that?
I think Ms. Clement said that.
All right, congratulations.
7,641. So good job, Ms. Clement. You just won a ring from us. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you. you.
No problem. You have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Well, thanks, everybody. It's so nice of you all to join.
Oh, thank you so much, Lou. We'll be discovering a new continent next month because next Friday is March 1st. So let's all make sure to come back on to next Friday to see the new continent for our travel edition of the Lunch Club. I think Miss Tylene, yes, I think you did say that. I'll also have something for you, Miss Tylene, as well. Okay, so we have Miss Tylene and Miss Clement winning something today. So let's all
We'll give them both a ring, Alex. I got
Sure.
enough rings.
Thank
So
you.
we are out of Masai stuff though after today. So Alex and I will put our noggins together and come up with something else after this.
Yes, let's all thank Lou for doing such a great job, and I'll see you all at 1:30 p.m. today.
I like your
Thank you,
Bye,
Lou.
everybody.
Cassandra.
Bye.
Bye.
You're welcome,
Congratulations to all
Denise.
the winners.
Bye,
We have
everybody.
Brenda, Diane, Cassandra,
Bye.
Mr. Ronald, Denise, Miss Tylene, and Miss Clement winning something. So congratulations and thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
See you
My
all.
daughter,
See you at
my daughter did
1:30.
return.
Enjoy your weekend, Lou.
See you all soon.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right,
Okay.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Great day.
Bye-bye.
Check out
See y'all,
MacArthur in the chat.
see y'all
He did.
later.
He did
Have
return.
a good day.
Bye.
Yeah, he said he was
See you
going
all
to.
soon.
Yeah, MacArthur did